We're live. We're live. Hi, everyone. Jerry here, the njeri near, and it's Wednesday, so that means it's Wash Day Wednesday. Yay! Happy New Year to everyone. I mean, wow, I can't believe it's 2026. Wow, I mean, 2025 was quite an interesting year, and I think another time, we can talk about what 2025 was all about. But yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. Let me just maybe like hold this microphone a little bit closer. Yeah, I think we're good here. But yeah, it's a new hair, not really. New year, same hair, but definitely I want to continue the good habits that I have been, just doing with my hair. In 2026, I really like what I've done with my hair last year. I mean, it might not be like obvious like hair like right now, but I did have quite a bit of breakage that I had end of 2024. And so, at some point, I gave a lot of the braids a break. And then eventually, I just stopped putting braids in my hair. I think I stopped in May, June, around that. And even like the front part of my hair, like when I would stretch it down, it would stop by my nose. But then, like now, it's by my chin because it had breakage, and so it grew that much. So I'm pretty happy with that. So with hair, it's a lot of patience. That's definitely the thing when it comes to hair growth, especially when you do have coily hair like myself. I have 4B, 4C hair, and it can be quite the process, quite you can be a bit frustrated at times because for our hair, your hair could be hair like my hair is hair when it's stretched, but you cannot tell because of shrinkage, right? So frustration is definitely a part of the journey, but I just want you to know it's okay. Really, the goal is health, health over length. Length is great, but healthy hair is definitely the most important. And to encourage that healthy hair this week, actually, I finally deep conditioned my hair after the longest time. Like I think I haven't deep conditioned my hair since maybe October. I don't know, man. It's been a long time. It's actually been quite a long time since I have deep conditioned my hair, and I shouldn't wait that long next time. And it was this Sunday's deep conditioning that, kind of inspired me to make today's topic be focused on conditioning your hair versus deep conditioning your hair. I feel like all I've been doing is conditioning my hair, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Conditioning your hair is very, very important. Muy importante. But, but deep conditioning is really where it's at. But how do you know when your hair needs conditioning versus when your hair needs deep conditioning? And that's where I just kind of want to just talk about the two to know that both are great. So you just need to know when your hair is asking for one versus the other. Okay? So let's ask in the chat. So do you condition your hair weekly? Do you deep condition weekly? Do you even wash your hair weekly? How often do you wash your hair? Let me know in the comments below what is your wash day routine looking like. If you are somebody who washes your hair maybe every other day, I mean, I know if you are someone who has straighter, looser hair patterns, then you might really want to be washing your hair more frequently since the oils from your scalp tend to run down a lot more. But if you do have tighter curl patterns, you will really, really benefit from having a consistent conditioning wash day routine, which is why we all should really be conditioning our hair, washing our hair. And we're going to just talk about all of that today because I want all of us this year to have full, long, healthy, shiny hair, right? We want that. I want that. You want that. So we're going to get into that. So we're going to first talk about conditioning. And I also have a couple of products here just to be a little bit more engaging. So conditioning. For example, this is the conditioner that I like to use. So, what is a conditioner? Why do we need conditioner for the most part? Well, conditioning, what that really does is it really just puts back the moisture that your hair would have lost. All conditioning will do that. However, this conditioning, which is typically the one that you will wash out, right after. The main purpose of this one is especially when you shampoo your hair, you do tend to strip your hair of moisture, oils, all that good stuff. I mean, yes, your hair has the gunk, and the shampoo is trying to remove as much gunk as possible, right? So we want to do that, but then sometimes the shampoo can overdo it, leaving your hair very dry. That's why it's important for everyone to go in with a conditioner. And this conditioner, it will just slightly hydrate, the hair follicle. It will smoothen the cuticle, which is why even like this conditioner here, if my hair is really dry and I'm trying to detangle my hair, I do tend to just go for a conditioner and just help me to detangle because this smooths out the cuticle and makes the detangling process much easier. So conditioner for everyone, it's roughly, you put it in for 3 to 5 minutes, leave it in, and then you wash it out. And then you find that your hair feels nice and soft and silky. We love her. We love conditioner. However, sometimes you do find, have you ever putting conditioner in your hair and then you realize, oh, my hair kind of dry. It feels rough, like your hair is just not giving what it is supposed to give. That is where your BFF deep conditioner. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. I really just like the Aussie Miracle Moist line when it comes to conditioners that provide hydration. There are other deep conditioners that I have here that I will show, but just as an example, deep conditioning. Deep conditioning is where the heavy pulling, the heavy work, it does that. So deep conditioning really penetrates the hair follicle. So while conditioning tends to be a little bit more surface level and just sits at just the outer parts of your cuticle, deep conditioning will really, really go in and penetrate the cuticle. Now, while it does that, it needs help. So many times you will want to use heat. Now, you don't just like apply your blow dryer straight to your hair. Like, no, 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 no. You don't do that. So for deep conditioning, we tend to use a cap, just a plastic cap. If you're like me and you just don't have a plastic cap, use a scandal bag, right? And there's two ways in which you can be applying this heat to your hair. So what you will do is after you apply the deep conditioner, you will put whatever bag you have onto your head. If you have one of those hooded dryers, you will just like go underneath the hooded dryer, and that actually, speeds up the process quite a bit. So you will sit underneath your dryer for 15 to 30 minutes, and then the heat helps to open up the cuticles. So I don't really have like I'm gonna make models for you guys. Like I was thinking about that today to help make the demonstration a little bit easier when it comes to like all these hair talks. But your cuticle is very smooth, right? When heat is applied, the cuticle lifts up, and that applies no matter what. So when the cuticle lifts up, moisture can escape, but in this case, we want the moisture to get in, right? So when the cuticle lifts up, all the moisture and all the good stuff will enter into the cortex of the hair follicle. And we just want to give the hair some time to absorb all of the good benefits that your deep conditioner has to offer. Now, once you are done, you will just get up and wash it out with cold water, right? Cold water is important because what cold water does, it will smoothen out the hair follicle. So first it was lifted, now it's going to go back down, smoothen it out, and then trap all of the good stuff in your hair. But I know I mentioned a hooded dryer. Let's say you didn't have a hooded dryer to sit underneath for 15 to 30 minutes, right? What you would do instead, you have your bag, you put the bag on your head, you will take, I know persons have like a heated wrap, you can take a towel. I like to use a little beanie, to be honest. So put the bag on my head, like, should I just do this here? We can just do this now. So I take just this plastic bag, put it over my head, right? After I do that, then I will just take this hat, this whooping hat, or if you have a towel, whatever to help trap the heat on your head. I like to put this. Now, this is just the option if you don't have a hooded dryer. Oh my god. Let me fix my hair. Okay, there we go. Fix this. Okay, she's back. She's back. She's back. Yeah. So that's what I would do when I don't have a hooded dryer available to me. And in that case, I would tend to leave that on my head for 30 minutes to maybe 45 minutes, 1 hour. Honestly, at that point, I just go find something on Netflix and then I just sit, chill, let my hair deep condition, and we just call it a day, right? So that's what I would do for the deep conditioner. So either a hooded dryer or you put a plastic bag with a towel on your head and you want to just sit with that. So both options, you rinse it with cold water that helps to just seal all the cuticles and then you're good to go. And that's really how conditioner is like. But how do you know when to use one versus the other? Like I said, if your hair is still very dry, typically after just a regular conditioning cycle, then this will not be enough. You're going to want a deep conditioner, right? And typically for those with coily hair, if you have coily hair like myself, you want to deep condition more regularly. Honestly, it depends on how your hair is doing. So maybe I know once a week that will be nice. But if you're kind of lazy, 'cause let's be real. Let's be real for a second. Deep conditioning is kind of work, right? The wash day process is already work. To deep condition all the time, if it's not really needed, it's a lot of work. So I would say even like twice a month, minimum once a month, right? So just so that you give your hair like a spa day, basically. You really give your hair all the good things that it needs to just flourish, be moisturized. Because if your hair ain't moisturized, when your hair starts breaking off, you're gonna wonder what's happening. Why is my hair shedding? Why is it breaking off? Because it's dry and it really just needs that extra, you know. So that's really, the important thing about deep conditioning. So when your hair is really dry, just deep condition. Try to keep it on a schedule, and then conditioning in between. So I condition more than I deep condition, but important to get the deep condition in. So both are important. It's just one fixes the inner part of the hair cuticle, the hair strand, and one is more surface level. So that's really that. But let's talk a little bit more about the different kinds of deep conditioning, right? I showed you this one. So personally, I like to use the Aussie 3 minutes Miracle Moist when my hair is really dry. Um, and if you want to know when you need one or the other, I'll explain that. But the other one is like for protein. So protein for deep conditioners, I like to use these for when the hair is, it's a little bit limp. It's not feeling as strong. You can tell when your hair is just not feeling that strong, right? So I like to use the ORS hair mayonnaise. So with nettle leaf and horsetail extract, conditioning treatment for damaged and weak hair. So these are the two I've been using for years. Like you can literally go back to a video I have of me washing my hair like a couple years ago. These two, anytime my hair was like breaking off, like these two have always saved me. It's just that I can be stupid sometimes and then something else in this life damages my hair. But these two always help me to grow back my hair and keep it healthy, strong, and moisturized. So I don't really switch up. I mean, I do have the Fenty one. I will talk about the Fenty one a little bit later. Not really my favorite, but she's not bad. She's okay, right? And then later on, I will also talk more about like leave-in conditioners. But stay with me. Stay with me. We're talking about deep conditioners, and then we'll get into all the other products that I just showed. Right. So moisturizing deep conditioners. When do you use that? Now you can tell that your hair needs more moisture because of its breaking. We have coily hair. Maybe you don't have as coily hair. You just bear with me, right? When the hair is extending, it's very springy, right? It's supposed to like bounce back. If you find that you're combing your hair, for example, and when it stretches, you find that the hair is breaking, that means your hair is a bit on the brittle side. It's a bit dry. That's when you know you really need moisture, right? So a moisturizing deep conditioner would be great for that. I mean, technically, the Fenty one, if you want to try that one, this one is also the Moisture Repair Deep Conditioner. So that is also, pretty decent option as well if you just need that moisture in your hair. But I really recommend this one. It's pretty cheap. It's like $7 Canadian roughly, I think, and it's pretty available whether it's at your beauty supply store or Walmart or whatever. Actually, I bought this at Dollarama. Crazy, like who knew Dollarama was selling these now? So this one is pretty good. So highly would recommend this one, and it's for many hair types, for straight, wavy, curly. So everyone can get the loving from this one. But let's say your hair is a bit limp, right? Let's say when you add water to your hair just droops. It's just drooping. It's not giving the spring or the bounce that your hair needs. Your hair is probably needing more protein because what's happening now is when your hair extends, it doesn't really bounce back and then it breaks. So everything is just breaking off your hair at this point, right? So that's where protein is needed. So a good protein deep conditioner would be great to just help to restore the protein in your hair structure and help to, restore that curl pattern. Get it strong, right? We want it bouncy. We want it springy. That's what we want. Honestly, this is the main one I recommend. Like, I'm sure there are other protein deep conditioners, but I am a full diehard for this. Don't overdo it though. I will talk about what happens when you overdo it. Basically, the opposite for each. If you use too much of a protein deep conditioner, your hair becomes brittle. And then if you use too much of a moisturizing deep conditioner, your hair becomes limp. So it really is important to like balance it. That's why I do tend to use both a moisturizing deep conditioner and a protein deep conditioner in my hair so that my hair gets the best of both worlds and just stays as healthy and as bouncy as it is. Because honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I am really liking how my hair is. Like, it actually looks so good. I'm having a good hair day. I'm having a great hair day. I'll talk about how I got my hair like this later, but yeah, for deep conditioning, these two would always recommend those. Any questions so far? If you have any questions about maybe the conditioners you use or when to use one or when not to use one, let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions about conditioning your hair, all that jazz, let me know. Let's have a conversation. I'm gonna present, but I'm always down to chat, right? Okay, so the next one that I will talk about, I have different kinds of products, but I'm only going to just talk about this one for now, and that is a leave-in conditioner. Now, a leave-in conditioner is basically, what it says. It is a conditioner where you just leave it in your hair, and it just helps to provide ongoing moisture to your hair. So you have your hair, you washed this, you did all the good stuff. This just helps. So you moisturize your hair, you add a leave-in conditioner, you go about your business throughout the week. Sometimes I like to add in a leave-in conditioner maybe like twice for the week. So anytime I am trying to rehydrate my hair, I would just use a leave-in conditioner or a leave-in cream, like whichever works to add the moisture and the oils. Oils, yes. So moisture will always evaporate. So anytime I go in with any kind of moisturizing agent, I will also go in with an oil just to help seal in all of that. And yeah, I mean, there's this. I use the African Pride leave-in cream, but that's a leave-in cream, not so much a conditioner. But to be real, is there really a difference? Like, they love to throw around different names for different products. Conditioner, cream, yeah, they're different. But from you say leave-in, it's a leave-in. but but typically those are even safe for applying heat. I have a story to tell actually, and oh my goodness, this is actually one of, I think I told this story maybe a couple wash days ago, but why you should wash out your conditioner right away. Like I mentioned earlier, conditioners, you should wash it out. Well, one day back in 2017, I believe, I was washing my hair. I don't think I had washed out my conditioner properly, and basically the conditioner was still in my hair. By the time I started using the blow dryer on my hair, I'm thinking I'm doing a great job. Well, you know, it turns out I wasn't doing the best job because there is smoke coming from my head top, and the fire alarm went off. And pretty sure I burnt off like half, like the middle of my head. Like it wasn't great. It wasn't great. I broke off my hair, set off the fire alarm, and ever since that day, I made sure that I always, always, always wash out conditioner from my head. Because if you don't wash out conditioner from your hair and you apply heat, you're gonna set off the fire alarm like I did, which is never, never a fun time, right? So it really is important to rinse out everything when you wash your hair. But then a leave-in conditioner, typically these are always safe. I've never had any issues with applying a leave-in conditioner or leave-in cream prior to using any kind of heat on my hair. But oils, definitely don't use oils before, using heating elements. Just keep that away. But yeah, that is all that. I mean, these are the two leave-in creams that I like to use. Again, protein deep conditioner. We love her, love her. Keeps our hair very strong, very mighty. Moisturizing deep conditioner hydrates the hair from the inside out. Love her as well. And conditioner moisturizes the hair as well, but it's just more surface level. And if your hair really is all moisturized and strong from the inside out, a regular conditioner really is all you need to just keep up with your hair care routine until you realize that, yeah, my hair is good or my hair is not good. You just adjust the products that you're using. Just, it's good to have the products available to you in your bathroom from time to time. But whenever you're ready, just pick up something that works. Ooh, another one that it didn't work for me, but I know a lot of girls like it. It's the TGN. It's a honey mask, something like that. I don't remember if anyone remembers that. Let me know in the comments. But I know girls really, really, really like that. I fell into the hype, bought it. To be honest, it did nothing for me. It really just sat on top of my hair. It didn't really moisturize it. My hair felt drier than ever. So I really did not get the hype. So even though I'm recommending products that I really like to use, it really is very dependent on your hair type. Um, Another thing with hair type, it's also your hair porosity. Ooh, let's talk about hair porosity very quickly, and then that's basically it for the live. But if you learned anything so far, drop a like in the live if you've learned anything from this video so far. And if you want to hear more about other topics, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be glad to make a video or a live session about such comments. Okay. But hair porosity, this is also very important when you're dealing with deep conditioning because if your hair is of low porosity, and low porosity is where basically your cuticles are not opened up, it's like very shut tight. And because it's very shut tight, it's very hard for moisture to get into the hair strand, right? And because of that, that's when it's good to do things like deep conditioning your hair with a moisturizing deep conditioner, because that way the heat will kind of force the cuticles open a bit, and then that allows the moisture to get in. So if you have low porosity hair, it really, really is important to make sure that you are deep conditioning with heat so that you get that opportunity for your hair to really get moisturized, right? But let's say you have high porosity. Well, everything is flooding in at that point. So like you're almost good where that's concerned. But what you will probably need more of is something to help to fill in the gaps. And at that point, it really is important to have a protein to help, close the gaps a little bit so that not only is moisture able to flood in, you also have the issue where moisture does flood out. And when you have the cuticles open and moisture is leaving your hair at that rate, you also deal with dryness. So everybody is dealing with dryness in different regards. Low porosity is struggling to get the moisture in, but then high porosity hair, yes, the moisture can get in, but then you might be struggling to keep it in, right? So it really is important to cater to your hair type where that is concerned, and pick the deep conditioner that works for you. Okay? Cool. Any questions so far? Hi, hello, if you're new here. We're just having a little hair care talk. But those are the different types of conditioners. I really hope that you did learn quite a bit from this session. I do kind of want to get more into the science, aspect of it. So if you're ever interested in like a more science-based breakdown on how either shampoos, conditioners, and all these products work, I let me know in the comments, and I would love to do that for you guys. But that's basically it. Thank you for this Wash Day Wednesday. We are here every Wednesday discussing hair care tips for coily hair and just hair care in general. So thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next week. And remember, self care is how we practice self love. Bye.